All right, guys, I just wanted to include that little GIF because I thought it was funny and I thought it would add a little humor to the video today. I apologize for my voice. I think I might be losing it, but we'll try to get through these the best that we can. So there are a few more things I want to clarify with translating, so we're going to do that today in these notes. So just as a reminder, well, not really a reminder, but the first thing we're going to start off with is grouping words. So grouping, remember, means like parentheses. So two parentheses, grouping two numbers, adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. So when you see the following words, sum of, difference of, product of, and quotient of, we are going to make sure that we use parentheses. So you should have sum of, difference of, product of, and quotient of. When we see those words, we know that we're going to be grouping something together. Now it is a little case by case, but you will see that as we go on through the notes. And then as this would be a reminder, the three switcheroo words, remember, are from, than, and to. When we see any of those three words, we need to make sure that we're switching the order of the things that we're adding or subtracting. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through number one, and then I'm going to have you do all of the problems in italics on your own. So number one says the product of 3 and a number. So product, remember, means multiply. What two things are we multiplying? We're multiplying 3 and a number. So we'd write this one just like 3 n. Okay, so what I would like you to do is try 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own. When you finish those should just be a review. When you finish those, you can raise your hand. You won't need to really do any grouping for these because there is only two things that we are adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. All right, so hopefully you got those few checked. I'll be walking around to make sure you did, but we are going to move on to 7 through 10. So these ones you really are going to have to pay attention to the grouping. So number 7 says twice the sum of a number and 9. All right, so I'm going to annotate at the top. I have twice the sum. We know that twice means 2 times something, but you see that the sum of, and there's two things that we're adding. We're adding a number. Remember, sum means plus, and 9. So a lot of times I see people put the plus sign and then the n and the 9, but that doesn't really make sense. So we want to make sure that when we're doing this, we have n plus 9. So if I were to write all of this out, it would be twice whatever we get for the sum of n plus 9. But since we don't know what n is, we have to keep it in a group. But we have to make sure, because we know order of operations, the grouping comes first, that this n plus 9 is separated from the times 2 part. That's why it's really important to know that, like, the sum of, the product of, that's separate or secluded away from the twice. Okay, let's try number 8. 4 times the sum of a number and 9. So we have 4, I should notate it up here first, 4 times, this is very similar, the sum of, and we're adding a number and 9, almost the exact same problem. Okay, so again, I'm going to add n and 9 separately from the 4. So 4 times the sum of a number and 9, that needs to be separated out. Okay, number 9, triple the sum of y and 6. Again, triple means times 3. So we're just leaving the 3 on the outside, and we're going to add, because sum, y and 6 by itself on the inside. Okay, because we want to make sure we do y plus 6 first, and then whatever we get for the sum of this, times it by 3. Again, thinking about order of operations. And number 10, the product of 8 and a number decreased by 6. So we're multiplying product 8 and a number. I don't need to use the multiplication sign, so I would just say 8 and a number, product of 8 and a number, decreased by means minus 6. There's no need for parentheses here because the product of 8 and a number isn't being multiplied by anything. It's just being decreased by 6. So what I want you to do is try 11, 12, 13, and 14 on your own. Once you finish 11 through 14, please get them checked, and then you can move on to the back for the inequalities versus equation. Get checked. So if you flipped it over to the back, you know that we're talking about equations, which have equal signs, versus inequalities, which is what we're going to look at all of the signs for right now. Inequalities just mean that one expression is greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to another expression. So it says the following phrases translate into an inequality sign. What word do you see in each phrase? So what word comes up in every single one of these 4 phrases? Hopefully you noted that it is the word is. Now, is typically means is equal to, but in this case, we don't know that it's equal to. We just know that it's either greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, or greater than. So you should hopefully remember from last year that is greater than or equal to sign is greater than, and if it says is greater than or equal to, we have to do half of an equal sign underneath. Is less than would be this way. Is less than or equal to, is less than or equal to, and is or greater than, is greater than. And I have a little trick to remember that is less than. If you take that is less than sign and bring it upwards, it makes an L. And I can show you that with my fingers. I still use it to determine whether it's less than or greater than. I think it's very helpful. All right, so think about this. You are going to see these phrases, less than and more than, all the time with translations. You're going to see it, you saw it on the last side. You might see the sum of a number less than 4. When we see that less than and more than, there is not an is less than or is more than. So we know that that means a switcheroo word, okay? So when there is the word is missing, like less than or more than, it just means minus the number or plus the number, and the than is the switcheroo word. Okay, so that can be a little tricky, so we're going to go over it in the next few problems. All right, so we'll do 3, 4, and 5 together, and I'll have you do the rest on your own and then get it checked. So we're going to translate each of the following statements and circle the best description. So number 3 says 2 more than a number. I still am circling any of my switcheroo words. So we have 2 more is plus, then we have a switcheroo, a number. Okay, so I'm going to switch the order of the things that I am adding. That should look like n plus 2. And notice that it says just more than, not is more than or is greater than. So that would be an expression because there's no equation, no equal sign, or no inequality sign. All right, the next one says 2 more than a number is 6. So we have 2 more than, so plus again, we have a than, a number, we don't know what the number is, and there's that is. Is by itself just means equal to 6. So if I switcheroo these again, it's basically the same, but instead this time I have n plus 2 equals 6. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have that equal sign, meaning it's an equation. And the last one, 2 more than a number is less than 6. So there's a more than and a less than. So I'm going to circle my than. We have 2 plus more than a number. Now here comes my less than 6. Okay, because it says is less than, it's an inequality. If we see that word is less than or is greater than. So when I translate it, I still have to do the switcheroo from the more than. I'd have n plus 2, and then is less than 6. Okay, so what I would like you to do, reflect on that for a minute, and then try 6, 7, and 8, circling whether they're expression, equations, and inequalities, and doing the translation. Then complete the matching. Once you've finished, raise your hand. I will check it. We'll make sure we're all good to go, and then you can start on the scavenger hunt. Awesome job, you guys.